Hey guys, it's DuconRed1 and welcome to another Minecraft video. Today we're going to be doing some more of the Centaur Let's Build. But what we're going to be working on is the terrain. We're going to be working on the palette and working on it together. So as you can see, I've already gotten a little bit done. I had already pre-recorded, or I had already recorded some, but I was trying a different method of recording, but the audio was screwed up. And sorry about that, guys. But anyways, we got a little bit done, and hopefully, well, maybe we'll do this side for this video, and we'll get a little bit done there. So, but yeah, before we get into that, what I want to say is, first of all, thank you to all of you that have replied to my questions over on my last video. I was asking you guys what style you think they would live in, you know, what the Centaur culture would be, etc. And anyways, this is sort of what I've come up with. I came up with 3 styles. Now, none of these are concrete. These are just ideas. And I want you guys to sort of discuss down below, what do you guys like about each style? Maybe I can combine a little bit of each, or maybe add in something. Who knows? There's a lot of different ideas. These are just concepts that we can use. So this here is my favorite of the 3. Now this one is a more of a good kind of thing, especially with the yellow and the green stripes like that. It's supposed to be very homely and very nice. You know, you're supposed to feel very, you know, welcomed, and it's like good, etc. Yeah, we got big doors. I don't like this little flicky up. We're just gonna take that out. Not right now, but anyways, yeah, just this whole thing wouldn't be here. They would walk inside, and this is the main living area of this house. And you got the fireplace here on the side, and some of you suggested not to add in stone foundations, but I really wanted to, because like I said, I want to go with the Narnia Centaurs. And you know, when you look at as we know, the Narnia Centaurs, they're rather sophisticated. They are very smart. They know what they're doing, and I imagine there's some good craftsmen. But anyways, as you can see, we got some stone foundations, and that usually indicates that they are pretty smart. They know what they're doing. We know it would be hard for them to place stone because, you know, farming, placing stone, there's a lot of weird things, but it's just, you know, how could a horse, you know, be able to do this kind of stuff? I mean, obviously they can carry a lot, but when it comes to actually placing the stone and, you know, bending down and, you know, getting up high to build it, that would be difficult. And then it makes me wonder how they got up to the top of the roof to put in the thatch like that. You know, there's a lot of different questions that we have, but, you know, we just want to kind of put it together, and hopefully it'll turn out good in the end. But anyway, that's the first style. This over here is the second, with a grass roof. Maybe they would use the roofs as a place to eat. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, a grass roof, typically like a mud, they would just put mud up there and it would dry, and then they maybe put layer upon layer of mud. And then on sort of the top layer, I guess, the grass would grow, in which case that, you know, maybe the grass, the roots would keep the inside of the house dry. Who knows? There's a lot of... I guess that's why, because there's Nordic houses, like Viking houses. That's how they built their houses, is sort of underground. Not underground, but, you know, their roofs were made out of grass. I guess it wasn't like that all the time. I guess, I'm not sure. I've seen pictures of Viking houses with grass roofs. That's all I know. And so in here would be our fire pit for the Centaurs. There's not really as much room in here to work with, but maybe like a little place to bed down over here, maybe a little place to bed down back here, a little place to prepare food, some extra firewood in this corner, maybe some food around. There's all kinds of places for things. I mean, this is a small style, but it works, I think. But this is more of a mixture between the, you know, very civilized and the tribal look, you know, the tribal style and such. Now, again, these styles are very basic, or I haven't said that before, but yeah, the styles are very basic. There would be more to them eventually. Like, there'd be like jut outs and, you know, different things of interest, just to make the buildings more spectacular than what it is right now. But anyway, the smoke from in here would go out these windows on the top, and that's how that would work. But yeah, grass roof with a sort of Kevikston kind of palette, as you can see, with between the brick and the darker, what is that called? Pavestone? I forget what that's called, but anyways, yeah, there's that. Then there's the more of the tribal look. This is a very tribal look. It's only made out of wood with a little bit of a wood or a stone chimney here on the corner. I didn't really add much of a palette into it, but still it's okay. But yeah, as you can see, it's a much more tribal look to it. There's no stone on the foundation, and then you got the blue paint around. You know, when you think about it, you know, people like to paint their houses, I guess, in the old days, or I guess in this culture, maybe they would want to paint their houses as a sign of, how successful you are, a sign of wealth, maybe in the village life, or like maybe to paint the color of your family. Who knows? There's a lot of different things. Maybe they have their own banners for the families and stuff like that. I don't know. But I still like the idea of painting the house around. Also, paint helps the wood from rotting depending on what kind of paint you have. Paint is like a protective layer, like a shield against the sun, and maybe that's also a reason why they did that. So that is that. I really liked this one the most. I still want to develop these styles more. I'm not fully happy with them, but anyways, tell me in the comments below which ones you like, and tell me which ones you don't like, and maybe give me suggestions for what we could do. And then in the next episode, I will make a decision on which style or what we're going to do for the styles and such, and then we'll go from there. But right now, it's your decision. It's your decision phase. What would you rather see? Don't mind the trees. These are just kind of there for a fail plot over here. I was doing this for a contest a while back, but yeah, I accidentally, maybe I disconnected them. So yeah, so we're gonna go over here back to our Centaur plot. This is going to be what we're going to be doing today is just adding in texture to the terrain and making it look fancy and awesome. We're going to add in some features, make it more, not so flat. We're going to really work on this and make the terrain quite interesting. So as you can see, I've already done a little bit, and what I really want to get across to you guys today is put light stones, mossy stones, where light stones and mossy stones should go, and put dark stone and darker stones, where, gravel and stuff, where they're supposed to go. Don't just like take a brush with all of the different materials and then like all over the place. Don't do that. That doesn't work. It just looks horrible. I'm sorry to say it, but it looks horrible. So what we got to do is we got to purposely place some blocks. But what I'm going to show you is a method that I use in order for the small plot, it's not really going to work, but for larger plots or larger builds and lots of terrain, it works really well. But the method that I like to use is I like to do basically a brush of one material at a time, and it sort of spatters it so it doesn't give you that world edit look. So anyway, what we're going to do is do brush, sphere, we're going to do 70%, 70%, 1, 0, and then we're going to do 30%, 1, 5. So 1, 0 is the normal stone, and 1, 5 is the dark stone, and then 2 is the brush side. And you make sure there's a space in between for those of you that don't know how to use World Edit. Alright, and now we're going to do // mask 1, 0. Alright, so that's going to set our mask. And now what you do is you just go ahead and add in that dark stone just where you feel like the dark stone should go. And I feel like there should be a little bit there. Maybe a little bit more over here, stuff like that. You kind of just add it around and you build it up as you feel like it needs to be built up. So like, there we got that. I feel like that looks pretty good right like that. And here I can show you on the side sort of what I mean. But like you just kind of hold down the button. Here you can hear my clicks. And each time I click, it adds in a little bit more. So that way it's more of a splattered look and it doesn't look world edited. Like it doesn't look like spheres of the material. Anyway, that's what I like to use whenever I'm doing terrain like this. Is it really helps to get it the correct way, the way that I personally like to do it. Alright, so now what we're going to do is add in some sand here. I feel like these little islands in the middle, I think should be like sand. Also maybe a mix of gravel. I'm just going to be using this for a little bit. And I want to make the sand the darker color. Like I don't want it to be that light, dry sand. I want it to be dark and look wet, like it's been, you know, like there's a stream coming through here, because that's the idea. Is this is a little creek coming through, and why is that not changing? That is weird. Oh, okay, so I changed the actual block. Okay, so now we got that fixed. So now we're gonna add in a little bit of gravel along, just like that. We might, it might turn out where we're going to be adding in actually some of those little snow layers to make this more interesting looking, but for right now it doesn't matter. But we're going to add in some mossy stone like that. Same thing over here. You just kind of add it in where you feel like it should be. Now don't just like put mossy stone everywhere all over this. See, this is like an eyesore in a way. If you have it too much, it's an eyesore. You want to only put it in places where it really works, because if you just kind of put it everywhere, it just looks like I'm not sure if you guys know what noise is, but when you look at a picture and there's a lot of noise, it's just like, you know, you don't know what's going on. You want those, you know, it looks pixelated, but then when you put those in, you know, appropriate areas, it really starts to pull it all together. So maybe we'll put, you know, a couple up there, 3 up there, and I think that is all that we need of that stone for this area. So now what we're going to do is maybe use a little bit of clay. I don't know where we would use the clay, just little places like this, I guess. Yeah, actually that looks pretty good. I like that. And just little areas, just, you know, nothing really much. I like the idea of having just a little bit of clay, a little bit of hardened clay, and this also can represent sort of like a darker region down there. We'll go ahead and add some sand also. Also, I really want this whole area to be sand. I feel like that would add in a nice little contrasted area, and maybe that as well. And now the reason why I did this, I think I already told you guys this in the last episode, but as you can see, when the water comes around this corner, it sort of digs into this side. So that's why it's sort of cliffed over here. And you always want to keep the water down deeper than what your main level is, because, you know, a stream or a creek or river, whatever, it's been there for a long time. And rivers, water, etc. has a tendency to really erode things and really, you know, tear things down and just really, you know, tear it up, you know, something like that. I don't know, but you know, you want to portray that. You want to make it look very, very eroded, and that's the kind of thing that we want to go with. So, and then the next thing that we want to do is, you know, once we get all the terraforming done, all of this, you know, the blocks and everything, all the palette fixed up and make this look awesome, then we're going to have to work on blocking the view outside the plot. Like, we really need to make it so that, you know, you can't see outside the plot in most areas. That's also something very important in order to make a great plot. And my idea is that there's going to be like a communal house or communal building here where maybe all the families from around can come in and you know, meet around. Maybe it has like a central fire pit in the middle, like a big circular building here. I don't know how they would get up to the top of the roof though, so I don't know how to work this. How would centaurs get up to the top of the roof? Maybe they would send up their kids, and their kids wouldn't fall through the roof because they're so heavy. Because horses are what? Probably a centaur would be around 700, 800 pounds, something like that. It's a pretty heavy. That's a pretty heavy creature. But yeah, there would be some more houses around here, like maybe there, maybe a house here, house there. I want 4 houses at least. So whatever we do, I want there to be at least 4 houses. I would prefer more, but I don't want to make it look really overcrowded. And then we're gonna have lots of trees and stuff like that around as well. Actually, we don't want that there. But you guys get the idea. It's just kind of adding in the palette. You don't want to splatter it. That is the main point of this episode, is do not spatter your palette. Make sure that everything is purposeful and that you have a reason for why each of those blocks are there. So like, typically the mossy stone is more down towards the water, also maybe on the sides of the rock like this, like with sort of like a little tendril, a little foot coming down from the terrain, going into the water. Maybe there'll be a few rocks in the water as well, so maybe we could add in some like little rocks like that, and fix it up a little bit, make it look a little bit more interesting. But yeah, little rocks in the water like that, it could actually look really well. And then we also got to work on the water bed. Oh, and also we got to do this, like the bed of the river, we got to make sure that it looks really nice and neat. And let's make sure that everything, okay, there we go. I always run into that issue. So there is that. It's not really much right now, but it gives you the general idea. Remember, if you're going to be doing a huge plot or of terrain or whatever, there's a lot of different methods to do it, but my suggested method is do each material by itself, unless if you're like in an area that really requires a lot of one material. You can also do like brush, sphere, say if you want to do a certain amount of gravel and a certain amount of stone, you could do, remember, like you can just do all the percents, like you can do 30%, 13, 1, you can do 20%, 13, 0, and then you can just do 13 for that. So that is 50% right now, and then we'll do 50%, 1, 5, 2. All right, so, well, whoops, let's just do that right here. There we go. And then you'll watch this. You'll see that. That's kind of what I mean. And then you could also do that if you really want to. But honestly, I would say avoid that method if at all possible. But you can do that. There's no reason stopping you. But it just looks kind of spattered in my opinion. But this makes the terrain look a little bit more organized. It is a slower method, but this is actually one of the best ways that you can get terrain. So anyways, I thank you guys for watching this so far. For some reason, I was thinking we were coming to the end of the video. We're not. We are doing a time lapse now, and we're going to finish up this terrain, and we're going to make it look awesome. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys soon. Alright, so we finished up the terrain, the base terrain for our plot. I'm pretty happy with the results. I'm kind of happy with it. I think that it works, and I'm going to go over a couple things and sort of explain some certain details that I added in. So first of all, there is snow layers that you can add into your plots. Now, in order to get these, the grass ones, you got to go all the way through the metadatas, and then it goes to the grass ones. Personally, I'm not a big fan of using snow layers because this is a ton of biomes that are set to that certain biome or set of biomes in order to make that grass. So I am not a fan of using the grass, all these biomes like this. And plus, it's just, tedious. It doesn't really make sense to do so. So I just did this as an example for those of you that are wondering. Now, I do like to put it on the sand. Like, on the sand, it looks great, in my opinion. I feel like it's a really good addition to add into your sandy areas to make it a little bit more plump, I guess, to make it a little bit more, rounded. I feel like that works because there's hardly any sand areas and it just works for where it is. Alright, so let's see what else is there. This canyon through here, let me go ahead and turn on conquest shaders. There we go. So this canyon through here, this is like a little rivulet. So maybe this is like a dried up stream that would come through here, and then like during the rainy season, this would be rushing with water, and then it would go into the creek here. So that is what a creek is. Like creeks, like first you start out with like sort of mountain little streams. I guess that's kind of what this can be. It's just like a little stream, because up in the mountains is where you collect a lot of water. Even in like the the lowlands and stuff like that, like the snow melting at the top of mountains would start the stream. It would come down into the lowlands, and then there's be like all the water that would rain on all the fields and forests and everything. That would all go into streams. Those streams would feed into creeks, which are just larger than streams. They would rush down to a river, and then rivers rush it out to a lake or an ocean, and then from there, that's where the water gets recycled and then brought back to land through rain. That's the cool thing about weather. But anyways, that's just kind of what you want to do, is you want to add in some realistic features, and I just felt like adding in a stream here was a neat idea. I really wanted to do that. I made it sure that it looked a little bit rounded. I didn't want it to feel like it was artificial or anything. I feel like it works pretty well. And I also, as you can see, the water looks like it's rushing. Like you don't just kind of, you kind of just have to put it around like this, just like randomly, and then you sort of see the sort of rushing effect. Like sometimes you had to make it go down, backwards. But yeah, the little bit of a rushing effect really adds in some atmosphere to your creeks or rivers or whatever, to indicate that it's flowing pretty fast. And maybe even you can put in some smoke. Let me go ahead and grab this really fast. Maybe you could even put in, say, some smoke to indicate that the water is really churning there. That's another really interesting thing that you can add in. It's not necessary, of course. It's just an extra detail. Now these reeds in here are because of biomes, because I'm using the Better Foliage mod. But anyways, what I really want to get to you guys is the Biome brush. Some of you are not aware of this, but on the Raven server we have a plugin called the Biome brush. Now in order to use this, all you gotta do is do /BB. So BB equals Biome brush. You gotta have an iron pickaxe on your hand. I'm pretty sure it's just an iron pickaxe. Yeah, it's just iron pickaxe that you can use for this tool. Alright, and then what you need to do is biome, and then you type in the biome name. So for this instance, I'm going to be using a little bit of savanna. Alright, so I said I was going to use mushroom biome, but I didn't want to because it made the water down here red, and I don't want red water. That's just, that doesn't really fit the theme that I'm going for. So what I'm going to do is kind of like what I did on the good side terrain for the competition. I'm going to spatter some of this throughout. So it's just going to be like this. We're just going to kind of throw it around. I'd prefer just little splotches like this. We might actually go ahead and bring this up a little bit, or let's bring the radius up a little bit. So what we can do to bring the radius up is do /BB, or just BB, and then R is radius, R equals radius, and then we're gonna do, say, 3. Alright, so 3 is our radius now, and now it's gonna go a lot quicker, you see. So we're gonna go ahead and just throw all that down. We don't want to really do too much, just a little bit, just like that. Just little splotches here and there, just to sort of highlight the terrain a little bit. Maybe a little bit there as well. Some back here would be cool too. Give it a little bit more detail. Splattering the biomes sometimes can be a little, too much, depending on what you do. And I hope we don't do too much on this instance, but we're just going to be doing a little bit like this, just around. This will really spice up our terrain. I think I'm going to leave most of that green down there. Maybe just add in a little bit here at the end. Yeah, let's just add in a little bit right here. Alright, so just like that. And then that will take care of our biomes. And a little bit there. Okay, so there we go. That looks like pretty legit terrain, if you ask me. I think that has a really good, this is a really good foundation for our Centaur project. Now, like I said, I'm still not set on these houses. You know, just tell me what you think about what you like about them. I also changed the color scheme of this one a little bit. I made it red and white. I think it looks a little bit better, I guess, but still needs some work. Overall, the styles, you know, they need the big doors, but maybe you guys have some really good ideas you can send me. Maybe you can build your own Centaur houses and send me some pictures for inspiration or something. I don't know. Some interaction, some audience interaction. Also, another thing which I'll do later on is what you can do is add in details to the side of your plot to make it look like it's actually, you know, terrain, actual terrain. So like, you know, maybe add in a clay layer or something. So kind of like this, I guess. We'll go ahead and just, I don't know, just add in some dirt, some clay, just to make sure it's not flat stone. And I'll do that later on. I'm not going to do that right now. But yeah, as you guys can see, this is the plot we're going to have. My plan is to have sort of a like a tribal community structure up here, and I'm gonna have some houses and huts around. No walls or anything. I don't think that's really necessary. And then we're gonna have a house down here possibly, and possibly a house up here. Now the idea is we don't really want to go off the plot. We want to make sure that whatever we build tries to stay on the plot. But this house here might have to go off the plot. We'll see. And I put this wall here because that was extremely annoying, especially in recording stuff. So anyways, the wall is there now to defend us against the distraction. So but yeah, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, learned a little bit hopefully. You know, placing terrain, don't splatter it everywhere. Try to place it purposefully. Like here, let me just kind of fly over it really fast. You know, it's not splattered. You know, you kind of just put the blocks where you think that they should go. And now for larger scale terrain, doing terrain like this, like, you know, hand doing it is very difficult, but still, you know, try to do it as close as you can. So like what I told you about doing each material as one brush and then going over and then continuing to layer it, that's another great way of making terrain in my opinion. So anyways, that will conclude this video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Give me your opinions in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget that I have a Facebook and a Twitter you guys can follow me on and stay connected with me. So without any further ado, I'll see you on the next one. Till then, bye-bye.